What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with another Destiny 2 video, this time a preview for the weekly reset coming up this week, the 22nd of April. So, of course, as we await news on Frontiers and the reveal that we'll get in a couple of weeks' time, there's still a bit of wrapping up to do for Heresy content. This week we do get a bonus to the Nightfall, so extra rewards, as well as a unique drop associated with that. There should also be a couple of minor updates in addition to that for Heresy content, so we'll round them up. And then, of course, we got the rest of the rotation, featured rewards, activities, updates from Bungie, and a handful of other things to be aware of as we head into the reset. So, as always, I hope the video is useful.
Before we get into it though, if you haven't considered your internet security, today's sponsor is one for you. And in this day and age, of course, we face a lot of risks when browsing, accessing content, and even when gaming, which is why this video is sponsored by NordVPN. Firstly, NordVPN can do exactly what the name says. It creates a virtual location for our devices, which has multiple benefits, like enabling us to access content anywhere in the world, but also defending our network against DDoS attacks, which ruin our fun when gaming, disrupt our connections, and of course they can throw us offline, and that sucks. But Nord is capable of much more than that. It features advanced security tools like Threat Protection Pro, and that defends against malware and viruses or password attacks and phishing, where our private data is compromised. But on top of that, Nord's Dark Web Monitor immediately alerts us if we're at risk by scanning known hacker databases and platforms that hold stolen digital information, and most importantly, it does all of these things automatically so you can get on with your day. So right now, if you want to be better protected, you can unlock an exclusive NordVPN plan with 4 extra months by heading to nordvpn.com/houndish. It's a great way to unlock the most powerful and accessible VPN and security tool around. So hit those links below, and thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring the video. Now though, as we get into it for this week, of course the bulk of Heresy's content has now rolled out and the story is concluded. So in a lot of ways, we're kind of wrapping things up, picking up any weapons that we may have missed and completing objectives. This week we should get an update from Bungie to enable the final set of collectibles and secrets for the Dreadnought in Heresy, so that'll be in the patch notes on Tuesday and I'll keep you posted. Of course, on top of that, we may have to hunt them down now, especially if you're working on picking up the Heretic title, so I'll keep you guys posted about that, but should be a good update for the week. Otherwise, for the challenges this week, we have Total Corruption to complete the Nether activity with at least 3 corrupted boons acquired during the run. That one will drop the Curio of the 9 for the week, so worth working on that. Then we have Subclass Synergy to defeat combatants with a damage type that matches your currently equipped subclass, and any damage type counts if using the Prismatic subclass. Then we have Power Trip to deal final blows with power ammo in any ritual activity. Expedited Violence to rapidly defeat targets in Crucible, Gambit, or Vanguard, and this bonus progress granted for Guardian final blows. And finally, we have Superfluous to defeat Guardians in the Clash playlist with super abilities. So just a few challenges available this week. I think as well we are in the final couple of weeks of seasonal challenges actually rolling out. But of course, Ride of the Nine will be on the way for May 6th, and I'm sure we'll get more details about that soon. Otherwise, we'll get a refresh on Sundered Doctrine, so if you're still working on picking up any rewards from that, legendary weapons, armor, or indeed the exotic, we'll have extra chances again this week. And if you need pinnacle drops, don't forget the Pale Heart, of course. We'll have a pinnacle drop associated with the campaign co-op missions, and on top of that, there's one for Salvation's Edge, as well as Excision. But over to the Vanguard for the week. This week, we'll finally get the Sunless Cell as the actual featured Nightfall, so it'll be completely farmable this reset. On top of that, Bungie have said we'll get double loot from the Nightfalls this week, and the Palindrome will be the featured weapon. So, new strike available, and one of the newer or updated weapons, of course, in the Palindrome, available once again this week. And on top of that, Bungie had said we'll be able to get this Darkbleed looking emblem called Break Free if we complete any Nightfall clear this week. So, doesn't matter what the difficulty is, as long as it's the Nightfall on the Sunless Cell, we should also be granted this emblem, which is a cool addition for sure. So, let us know if you'll be jumping in for that. And hopefully that will also mean we'll see the return of Lotus Eater relatively soon, but of course I'll keep you posted. We don't know the full rotations for Crucible this week, but we can say Trials will return on Friday, since there's no silliness with the Iron Banner this week, so if you're looking for more Trials on the weekend, it will once again be available. But for featured raids this week, according to the rotation, we should be seeing the Vault of Glass featured, and of course there we can pick up all the legendary stuff, as well as the Vex Smitherclast, and it's a good time to farm the reprised Vault of Glass weapons, which are craftable now, if you still need to work on any of those. Additionally though, Crota's End should also be featured this week, so another good one to chase down if you still need any of the rewards, and tentatively, I'm going to say Warlord's Ruin, as well as Grasp of Avarice, should be the featured dungeons this week.
That rotation's all a bit weird at the moment, but best I can tell, those are coming up, unless of course that dungeon rotation is changed manually once again. So I'll reiterate those with the vendor video on Tuesday just in case. The exotic mission in the Legends tab this week though should be Operation Seraph Shield, so if you need any upgrades for Revision 0, that's another good one to jump into this week. For our final couple of mentions here though, in the Days of Eternity, as well as the core loot drops, this week we'll get Scatterhorn and Wild Hunt armor sets as additional drops, and a bunch of weapons from Season of the Hunt and Worthy, which can drop randomly at the end of the activity on top of the core Dares loot. For the featured Lost Sectors this week though, for April 22nd, Tuesday, we should get Aphelion's Rest in the Dreaming City, then for the 23rd it'll move over to Chamber of Starlight, which will be followed by Hydroponics Delta on April 24th, and then we'll move over to Gilded Precept for the 25th of April, Thrillerdrome on Neomuna for the 26th, then back to the Pale Heart for the 27th with the Broken Deep, and on the 28th it'll be the Blooming Deep. And of course these have chances to drop exotic engrams on solo clears, and they can additionally drop weapons from the World Pool randomly when you complete them, so good luck if you're still hunting anything down there. Lastly though, in the Dreaming City, if you're after the Ascendant Challenge, in the Bay of Drowned Wishes this week we should get the Agonarch Abyss, so pretty easy one to find, but if you want the location and collectibles this week, we'll run some gameplay at the end of the video. And so for the moment guys, that's what we have to round up for the weekly reset. As always, I'll keep you posted throughout the week if we get additional news from Bungie. Twid this week might still be pretty interesting given that Ride of the Nine is on the way, and they've got other reveals and things coming pretty soon, so the conversation should all be picking up as we move forward. Otherwise though, good luck if you're jumping in to hunt anything down this week. Also, if you found the video useful, a rating below really does help us on the channel, but for now, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.
The current. You're so deep into the well.
Guardian down.